It's common to see people use two smartphones, but very rarely do we see somebody using two laptops. Now, for the vast majority of us, it's a big choice choosing a laptop, given the upgrade cycle is far more than a year or two. Besides, people use laptops for a variety of use cases. So, who is this Nokia Purebook X14 aimed at? Well, that is what we hope to find out by the end of this video. Hey guys, Ash here from C4 Retech, and let's get started. As stated earlier, a laptop means different things to different people. For some, it's their primary computer. For others, it's a complement to their PC. For some, it's a netbook, and for others, it's a gaming machine to escape our worldly woes. But what is the Purebook X14? It is an ultralight machine that weighs in at around 1.1 kg. It has a respectable 10th Gen Core i5 processor, 10210U that is capable of breezing through most day-to-day activities. Our unit here has 8 gigs of DDR4 RAM and an ultra-fast 512 gig Nvme SSD. Please note that this is in partnership with the Walmart-owned Flipkart. Flipkart seems to be handling the manufacturing process and not HMD Global, so it's just the Nokia name being licensed for what it's worth. Now, what does this all mean? Before we get into that, let's talk about the design. The Nokia Purebook X14 is a solid feeling device. It's made of magnesium alloy. There is a rubberized coating that makes it insanely comfortable to hold in use. It feels premium and there is no creaking whatsoever. But the showstopper, it's how light this feels. Guys, I know how it is to read 1 kg on paper, but it's a whole other thing to experience it in real life. It feels super light. The 14-inch Full HD IPS panel is a pleasure to use with good colors, excellent viewing angles. I know we've said this in way too many videos, but it has a significance here. The screen can be tilted back to lie nearly flat, and do note that I said nearly, so don't go ahead, bend it, break it, and then say, I told you to do so. Anyway, it goes to nearly 140 degrees and there is almost no color shift. Impressive display. Nokia claims that the viewing angles are good for a whopping 178 degrees. Okay, it's worth noting that the weight does have a downside. The Nokia Purebook X14 did not pass our one finger open lid test. So, hey, that's there. Another feather in the cap is the fact that the display supports Dolby Vision for nice vivid picture quality, and that leads me into the companion feature, which is Dolby Atmos. So picture and sound like salt and pepper. The speakers, they are pretty good, nice and loud with actually above average tonal balance and deep bass. This makes it ideal for media consumption, like watching our YouTube videos, and you could also use that nice trackpad to scroll over to that subscribe button, and can even turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. But seriously guys, help us reach the long overdue milestone of, well, insert whatever number here. That's it. Now speaking of the trackpad, it's decently sized and it's fairly responsive. The trackpad seems clicky and has good palm rejection. Gestures seem to work as well as advertised, so the experience, it appears to be mostly good. The keyboard though, that was a mixed bag. The keys themselves are larger than on most Ultrabooks, but the spacing, it could have been better. Now this leads to a few typos here and there, but the keys do have a nice 1.4mm travel, and that should make typing on it satisfying. Backlighting is icing on the cake. Do note that this is not RGB. Personally, I don't mind it. I do like the understated look of this laptop. My PC, Ice, yes, I named it. We've got fire and ice going on, by the way. Now, if you do want to see a video on them, let me know in the comments below. Oh, and I almost forgot, the Nokia Purebook X14 has Windows Hello authentication on board. The cheapest webcam to support this, that's priced at about 5,000 rupees. So this is basically secure face unlock that utilizes dedicated IR hardware. So the fact that it is present here seems to be a big positive. That said, the webcam itself is, well, okay. It's not gonna blow your mind or anything, but for the regulation Skype or Zoom calls, it should get the job done. The Purebook X14 comes with 64-bit Windows 10 Home, and that is what you're gonna be using for them calls. Okay, now before we jump into the performance section of this video, I have another small thing to talk about with design. The hinge on the Purebook, it's not perfect, but it is good. You guys remember how we talked about the screen going back to nearly 140 degrees? Well, it feels a little top heavy and the screen will move about if you're, say, moving in a cab or something. I would have liked the hinges to be a hair tighter. It's not a deal breaker or anything because it's fine with most situations. But hey, gotta be thorough, gotta mention it, right? Now, when we turn the Purebook over, we see a mesh grill for heat dissipation and for the CPU fan to vent the heat out. And while we are here, let's also take a look at the I/O. And it's quite robust. To the right, we have a barrel charging port that charges the 46.7 watt-hour battery via the 65 watt adapter. And note that unlike phone manufacturers these days, laptop manufacturers continue to provide chargers in the box. I had to go there, right? Anyway, we then have a full-sized HDMI, USB 3 and a Type-C port. To the left, there's Ethernet, USB 2, another USB 3, and finally a composite headphone and microphone jack. I'm super happy with the I/O. My only nitpick would have been the barrel type charger in 2020, 2021. Everyone's moving on to Type-C, so I feel like this is a missed opportunity. Maybe they could have gone with Type-C. They already have a Type-C port. They could have gone with Type-C for charging and kind of future-proof the product and also even save on some space and manufacturing cost. But hey, that's just me. Now that we are done with the design, let's start answering our original question. Who is this for? And let's start with who it's not for. This is not for people looking for a powerhouse to either play AAA titles or seriously edit on the move. And there is no polite way of putting this. There's just not enough power for that. While playing CSGO, we got just about 30 frames per second with all settings cranked down to low. So this definitely isn't one for gaming. And that's frankly okay given the target demographic it's aimed at. Other notable features include dual band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.1. There are no claims on battery life made here but the product page. But in our testing, the 46.7 watt-hour battery held up pretty well, say 6 hours-ish while actively using the machine. So again, who is that target demographic it's aimed at? I'd say it's for the guy on the move, one that travels a lot. The Nokia Purebook X14, it's an ultrabook that shares the same specs as the Mi Notebook 14. It's got the same i5 quad-core 8-thread processor, the same Intel UHD 620 integrated graphics, but with better build quality. Xiaomi does offer a version with Nvidia's MX250. That one's priced at around 48,000 rupees. Now, if you're someone who uses your laptop to consume media, look at some spreadsheets and write an article or something, this one is going to be aimed at you. This would be a viable option. Now, having said that, the Apple MacBook Air 2019 is bottlenecked by the same shortcomings, but it is far more expensive, almost 2x the cost. Speaking of the price, the Nokia Purebook X14 can be had for about 60,000 rupees. And yes, this isn't exactly cheap, and I would have been happier to see at least a terabyte of storage here to justify that price to go along with that Nokia logo. Because Xiaomi's Mi Notebook 14 with identical specs, it's priced 16,000 rupees cheaper. Now, yes, for the price difference, we do get some things. We do get Dolby Vision and arguably better build. The Purebook X14 is shorter, narrower, and slimmer. Also, 400 grams lighter, all while the webcam is being included in the laptop itself and not being provided as a separate add-on. Then there is Windows Hello support. The I/O is definitely an advantage given Ethernet and USB Type-C. So in some ways, it is better than the Mi Notebook 14. I still wouldn't say it's as good a value. I mean, it's an alternate option that's readily available. So if these perks that you get with the Purebook X14 are worth it for you, then this is one you should consider. So that's been our take on the Nokia Purebook X14. Do drop us a like down below if you feel we deserved it, and subscribe for more coverage like this. Until next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 Retech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.